Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Ziya. If you're a fellow and returning subscriber, thank you for your continued love and support. I appreciate you all for being here with me. As always, I'm sending you all lots of love. Today, we're going to be diving in to see a message from your shadow self. So, we have three piles in front of you. With pile one, we have the attachment card with the calligraphy stone. For pile two, we have the disgust card with the Kiwi Jasper. And for pile three, we have the selfishness card with the Unakite. Okay, and I just love how the color scheme matches because I randomly picked these crystals and then put them in the order, and then I shuffled the cards, and I mean, they match beautifully. I love it. So, anyways, if you need time, take your time, pause the video. Otherwise, if you are ready, go ahead and check out the timestamps for your reading, and I will see you there. Hello, pile one. If you chose the attachment card as well as the calligraphy stone, this is going to be your reading. So, when I was tapping into the energy, I was seeing a cup, and it was about halfway full, but it was starting to run out really fast, which is telling me that there could be some sort of crack in the foundation. I know a lot of times cups signify like the heart center, our emotional needs. So we could be feeling like our emotional needs aren't being met right now. Or maybe there's some healing that needs to be done around the heart chakra. With this tree being here, this is like I'm being drawn to the roots and the base. So there could be something within your base chakra that needs some attention, and that could be where the energy is leaking out. There could be a need to have better energetic boundaries, to work on your spiritual strength, right? We can do that through praying, meditation, breath work. There's all different types of tools, so definitely feel free to seek them out. There's a lot of free tools as well as things that we can pay for if you have the funds to do that. I also do Reiki for free right now, so if you would like to set up a Reiki session, I would definitely be down to do that. My email will be in the description for you guys. So yeah, I was also getting a message from your shadow self that they wanted me to tell you a lot of times when our feminine energy is feeling imbalanced, or emotionally detached, we will tend to pour into people or substances or whatever it is. We will pour more energy into that because we are trying to deflect the fact that we feel like we're not being met emotionally or spiritually or whatever the case scenario is, okay? The feminine energy is feeling neglected. We'll just say that. So we'll overextend ourselves, and instead of focusing that energy on ourselves and pouring into ourselves, we start to pour into these things hoping that they will replenish us, and instead it depletes us, you know? And then when the masculine energy is out of balance, we will have a tendency to be really detached. We can't necessarily make a deeper connection, right? It's very surface level. We have a hard time even connecting with ourselves on a deeper level. We'll have a tendency to push people away, to push taking care of ourselves, our self-care, maybe even start to neglect our work, you know, our projects, whatever. So there is a message about that is coming through as well that I just wanted to relay to you guys. But anyways, let's dive into the message that's on the back of this card. It says attachment, dependence, and addiction. It says we attach to people, things, places. Sometimes we become so dependent on others that they turn into our only source of contentment and comfort. We rely excessively on relationships with other people, alcohol, drugs, social media, electronics, food, drama, etc. to fill our emotional needs. They also take our attention away from the things that we don't want to see. Our attachments can sometimes become so powerful that they can control our life and they can destroy us in the process. And it says, ask yourself, do I experience addictions of any kind? What am I running away from? How can I soothe my own pain and address my emotional needs? And what do I refuse to see? The affirmation is, I pay attention to the needs of my heart. I listen to my pain. I see reality as it is. I seek help when necessary. So like I said, there are many sources out here that we can seek out to help us through whatever we're going through, right? And if you are struggling with addiction, there are free sources out here as well. And if you need like a sponsor or something, there is no shame in that, okay? There are some addictions that are a lot harder to kick than others, okay? Like, there is no need to shame yourself, even if it's not like a substance addiction, right? Like, say you're not addicted to like food or alcohol or drugs. Maybe you're addicted to your phone, or you're addicted to work, or you're addicted to the gym. Like, whatever you do excessively can become toxic for our well-being, okay? So just pay attention to things like that. I think your shadow is really just trying to bring these things to light for you to acknowledge, because the first step in healing anything is acknowledging it and accepting it for what it is. And then from there, we can find a way to move forward. And it's got to be a way that feels good to you, so that way you're not met with as much resistance, because it's already hard trying to, not hard, it's a process, trying to overcome addictions or codependency, things like that. So when we continue to just disown it or act like it doesn't exist, it has a lot more control over us than we have of it, right? Sometimes we just got to take an honest look in the mirror and be like, you know what, I am struggling. You know what, maybe I do have a problem. Like, a problem is anything that starts to become toxic, okay? Like, if you're hurting yourself, if you're hurting other people in the process, that is a problem, right? I used to have the same issues, like, and I still sometimes find myself struggling with my codependency when I have a connection with other people. But it used to be so bad to the point where I had substance abuse problems for over 9 years of my life. So, you know, it's not nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of us go through it a lot more than people even know. So anyways, let's see. What message does your shadow self have for you? We got the Empress. Oh, I love that. What message does your shadow self have for you? We got the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Wands. I don't know if you guys can hear all that thumping, but if you do, I apologize. I have no idea what it is. Somebody's like breaking something down or throwing something around. So we got the Ace of Swords on the bottom. I love to see this because this is major breakthrough energy, okay? This is breakthroughs, this is epiphanies, this is clarity, this is truth. This is you being honest, especially with the Queen of Swords being here, you being honest with yourself about what is taking your energy, right? With this Eight of Swords. Some of you guys could have like really overactive minds as well with this Eight of Swords being here, or feel like you're kind of stuck in like a victim mentality. Sometimes when we struggle with these types of attachments and stuff, we will make excuses for ourselves as to why we continue to do what we're doing. Say, for instance, we grew up and our families never really took care of us, so now we are drinking a lot and we blame them. Like, well, if my parents were around more, I wouldn't be like this. But in all actuality, you know, maybe that would be the truth, but this is the reality that you're in, and you have more control than you're giving yourself credit for, okay? You're giving all of your control and your power to a parent that neglected you, you know? We all go through our own hardships. Some of us tend to use that for fuel, and others of us tend to stay stuck. But I do see you guys being honest with yourself about the things that you felt have held you back or caused you a lot of pain, and you are freeing yourself from this, right? Queen of Swords, you are being more authentic. You are starting to walk in a more authentic way, speak in a more authentic way. You are starting to be more authentic. And you will start to see that a lot of these habits or attachments, dependencies, addictions, these are not actually you, right? These are something that your ego has taken on and become very attached to. But we are more than just our ego, right? Our ego is important. Our shadow self is important. These things help us protect ourselves and stand up for ourselves, especially if somebody comes at us with a negative energy, right? We can stand our ground against these things, and it won't just tear us down completely and destroy us. But it can also, when we are not acknowledging it, it can destroy us. You know, we can destroy ourselves. We can self-sabotage. Some of you guys could be trying to work on your inner dialogue as well. I'm seeing that with this Queen of Swords. But with the Empress, this is you getting back to your center, who you are at your core, which is this very beautiful divine being, okay? You are abundant in all your nature. You are the embodiment, the epitome of love, abundance, prosperity, grace, right? Gratitude. The Empress is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck, in my opinion, because she is the embodiment of anything she needs to be. Okay, so there is no lack in the Empress card. And I feel like all you needed to do was acknowledge the fact that some of these things had more of a hold on you than you were maybe accepting of. And as soon as you acknowledge it and accept it, you take your power back, you know, and you move in a more graceful and abundant way. And I just love this for you guys, because it seems like you guys are having a major breakthrough. Like I said, something is clicking, you know, and it could just be the fact that you're ready. You're ready to finally move forward, right? And if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. You know, these readings can be very triggering. And it's hard. It's not hard. It's a process doing shadow work. I'm trying to shift my mind or my vocabulary from saying something is hard to something is a process, because who am I to say what is hard, right? Like, it's hard because what? It takes a little bit of extra work. It takes a little bit more discipline and brain power. Like, no, it's a process. We're gonna keep catching ourselves. And that's what I'm saying. It's crazy because I haven't been correcting myself as much, but in this pile I feel like I need to. So maybe that's something that you guys are working on, is like your vocabulary, making sure that you're saying and setting the right intentions. It does feel like in this pile, like you guys are really ready to like move forward and to be healthy and to be happy all on your own. And I think that's what is going to carry you along in this journey, you know. That goes a really long way. So let's see, why is your shadow being triggered? What is triggering your shadow the most right now? Thank you. It says, when I don't feel good about myself, I respond in negative words and actions. I can't make it up, yo. Because I'm telling you, the vocabulary is sticking out heavy for me right now. So let's see. We got, I can be quick-tempered and say hurtful things without understanding why. So this is like that impulsive kind of energy, right? And it could be because maybe we're not feeling good about ourselves. So we want other people to kind of, you know, feel our pain in a sense, which that is, it's normal, but it doesn't mean it's healthy or that we should continue to act in those ways, because it is very hurtful, you know. You know, saying hurt people hurt people. Let's work on healing so we don't continue to hurt people in that way. A lot of times we feel like shit afterwards, especially when that person doesn't respond or react, right? Like, say you lash out on somebody and they just sit there like quiet, or they start to cry, then you start feeling bad. You're like, man, I really didn't need to say all that, and I shouldn't have acted like that. But you know, now it's too late. Now you already cut somebody with your words. Words are sharp, you know? That's why, you know, the swords represent like our vocabulary, our mind, our intellect, our thoughts, right? Because them bitches are sharp and they hurt just as much as anything else, right? That's why there is a such thing as verbal abuse. We got, when I feel that I am right, I become defensive and refuse to listen to the other person's views. So maybe a little bit of self-righteousness gets a little triggered when we start to feel like we're not being understood. We stop being understanding towards others, right? And I'm just saying, I'm going to say this again because I just feel like I got to keep saying this, but like, these things are nothing to be ashamed of, okay? If we weren't supposed to act in these ways ever, we wouldn't even have the ability to do so, right? It's just about being aware when we start to react in a more negative way, so that way we can shift that, you know? We don't have to be this way, but I mean, it is normal for us to react out of emotion sometimes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have emotions to begin with, you know? We got, when I'm not confident with who I am, I will act in superficial ways. Okay. So this goes back to the attachments and the addictions and things like that. We could possibly be craving them a little bit more when we feel a little bit more insecure or less confident, maybe low self-esteem, things like that. We're looking to replenish ourselves in some way, and sometimes it's not in a healthy way, you know. But when you're in that lower vibration, we're just looking for something that's even slightly above that vibration, or that makes us feel slightly above that vibration, you know. So I feel like self-care is going to be big for this pile to help shift that energy and invest in ourselves in a healthier way, you know what I mean? I'm hearing that song by Bryson Tiller, How Can I Right My Wrongs? With you is where I belong. All the things that we went through, girl, I never meant to put you through it twice, no. But yeah, so let's see. We're going to get one final message for this pile, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Let's get a final message for pile 1. What does their shadow self want to say to pile 1? We got beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negative shit, okay? These are called the spiritual AF cards. So it says, what's the first thing you thought when you read negative shit? Write that shit down, take some space for it, and take some space from it for a week. Then notice of what happens in your life. You'll probably really like the results. Pardon me for the choppy reading. Oh my God, what is going on? I can't even talk. Lordy, Lordy. So we got 2 for you guys. We also got, thou shalt not judge because thou has fucked up before too. Okay. Says, when you see yourself thinking someone's a real asshole, take a moment and contemplate all the times you've done exactly what they're doing. Maybe it was a different flavor of assholeness, but it was still assholey. Check yourself. People will like you more. Most importantly, you'll like you more too. Aw. That's cute. I love this. I love these cards. I never use them, and I don't know why, because they're honestly so funny. It says, not giving a fuck is better than revenge. Oh. It says, revenge sucks. Just watch a superhero movie and look at the villains. Those guys suck. Revenge is whack and petty and gives you wrinkles. You know what's hot? Being the bigger person and letting shit go. Hair flip that shit, honey, and move the fuck on. I love these cards. Okay, so pile 1, this is all I have for you, and I hope this reading resonated with you. If it did, feel free to give this a like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell button so you don't miss when I upload. I hope to see you guys in my next one. Continue doing your motherfucking thing, okay? And also, if this is the only pile that you chose, then I will hopefully see you in my next one. Otherwise, if you chose another pile, I will see you over there. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Take care of yourself. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the Disgust card and the Kiwi Jasper, this is going to be your reading. So when I was tapping into the energy, I was seeing a pyramid shooting out these almost like sound waves, it kind of looked like. And I kept hearing do-do-do, do-do-do. I don't know what that is all about, but the message that I was picking up from that is, remember the sacredness and the interconnectedness, the divinity between everything and everyone, okay? We are all in different parts of our journey going back to the same source, okay? So we come from the same source and we are going back to the same source, and all of our journeys look different. We're all in different parts of our journey. Some of us are a little bit further ahead. Others of us have more lessons to learn. We got more baggage that we're carrying, okay? It's just like when we're on the highway and we see those giant-ass semis that are hauling a fuck ton of stuff. Obviously, the little compact car that doesn't really have shit is going to drive a lot faster, and they're going to get further along on the road than that semi is, because that semi has a lot more to haul. You know, if they try to go too fast, they're going to flip. So it's like, just keeping that in mind is something that your shadow self wants to bring to your attention today. Also, just finding time to connect with yourself in a very sacred way, I feel like is also going to be really good for you guys. Whether that sacred space is an external thing where you go to connect, or if it's more of just an internal thing, creating that sacred space internally. Okay, so let's read the message that's on the back of this card. We got disgust and loathing. On occasion, we experience a very strong dislike towards somebody or something. It is so intense that it goes beyond disapproval or distaste and borders on hate. We can feel its intensity in our body, and it makes us tremble and shake. The roots of our loathing may lay in anger, neglect, or abuse. Self-loathing occurs when our inner critic becomes so destructive that it pushes us to detest ourselves. This may stem from childhood issues, unresolved trauma, loss, anger, or fear. We got to ask yourself, do I experience feelings of disgust towards someone or something? What is the root of those feelings? Do I feel that way towards myself? Why? Can I heal and soothe my inner child? And we also got, for the affirmation, I strive to understand the root of my strong aversions in life. I listen to my inner voice. My ultimate goal is understanding, healing, acceptance, and love towards myself and others. Yes, and I feel like that's why they're like bringing up that message of remembering the sacredness and the inner divinity within everyone and everything. We're all in different places on our journey, and we are all trying to find our way back to the same source, whether we call that God, we call it the universe, we call it our higher self, we call it death, whatever it is, okay? We are all trying to find our way back to the same source. Some of us are a little bit more lost, or like I said, carrying more baggage. So of course, some of us are gonna react in different ways. We're gonna do things differently. We were all created in our own perfectly imperfected ways, okay? Or imperfectly perfected ways, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we can also feel these things towards ourselves, right? Like maybe we look in the mirror and we're like, oh my God, I'm so fat, or I'm too skinny, or my skin looks like shit, or, you know, like really paying attention to when we are being overly critical of ourselves, when we are feeling disgusted with ourselves, right? And trying to shift our mindset, our words, our thoughts to something that is more positive. For instance, if you are hating on your body, that body gets you through this lifetime. That is your vessel. You should be more grateful and appreciative of it because of the fact that it helps you through so much. like I said, it gets you from A to B, right? Like you're still here. Earth can be a really difficult place to be sometimes due to the density of the energy here. But it's a beautiful place to be because this is full of duality. It's full of learning curves and experiences, and we can evolve a lot on this plane. So we should take more advantage of it. And it doesn't change the feelings that you feel sometimes, you know, knowing that. Sometimes we are still going to have those thoughts and those feelings. But like I said, it's about awareness. Being aware is going to be the first step in healing or coexisting with these things, right? So let's see. What does your shadow self want to say to you, pile 2? What does the shadow self of pile 2 want to say to pile 2? We got the King of Swords in reverse. There's that negative self-talk. Or even just negative vocabulary, period. Maybe it's not even just towards yourself. Maybe it is towards other people. Maybe you catch yourself being kind of rude or harsh towards other people, right? We got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which can definitely talk about just not feeling happy or content with who we are or where we are in life. Sometimes we can feel like we should be further along, we should be more successful, we should be more stable, have more stability in our lives. And if we're lacking that, or we're not feeling good in our bodies, we can have a tendency to project those feelings out into the external, whether we're projecting it onto other people or onto ourselves, you know. Sometimes we got to pay attention to our thoughts, because our thoughts that we continue to invest into do create our realities, right? The more you think about something, the more it manifests into your life, you know. The thoughts are frequencies that we are sending into the universe. And if you continue to think about it, that's kind of like setting intentions, right? You're setting that intention. So if you find yourself kind of more negative a lot of times, try to shift that and see how your life shifts for you. We also got the Page of Pentacles and the Justice card. So I am feeling like for a lot of you guys, there's this feeling of feeling like life isn't fair, or a lot of situations that pan out just are not fair. They are not in your favor. And we also got the Fool in reverse. It kind of feels like you're not appreciated enough. Like what you bring to the table, you don't receive the recognition or the appreciation that you feel you deserve. But I do feel like it stems more from an internal thing, because you're not giving yourself the appreciation or the recognition that you deserve. So it's going to reflect out into your external world. You're going to continue to encounter jobs that are not going to appreciate you. You're going to continue to encounter people that are not going to appreciate you. So taking that moment to really be honest with ourselves, to be truthful, to step out of the illusion and to see, like, where are we doing that to ourselves? Because everybody is a mirror, right? They reflect our good traits and our more negative traits, but regardless, everybody is a mirror of us. So if we look at somebody and we're like, oh my God, that person is beautiful, they're reflecting your beauty back to you, right? Even just looking at life in that manner can help us shift our mindset as well, okay? With the Fool being in reverse, I am also feeling this feeling of not being able to trust, feeling a little bit naive sometimes. I just heard aloof as well. So there could be a little bit of, maybe you've made some poor judgments in the past, right? That have led you to some shitty situations, and maybe we're still dealing with the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of it. It starts with a C, and now I can't think of the word. Well, we're still dealing with the backlash of it, okay? I can't think of the word that I was going to say, but maybe y'all know what I was going to say. If you do, drop it in the comments. But anyways, we could still be dealing with the backlash of some of the decisions that we've made in the past and just feeling like luck is not really on our side. And maybe it makes it really hard for us to trust ourselves or to trust other people. Maybe we feel a little bit closed off, like I said, especially if you feel like you're not being appreciated or being seen for what it is that you're bringing to the table. But I do see an opportunity for you to start planting some new seeds here with this Page of Pentacles, right? There is an opportunity for you to turn all of this around. With this Nine of Pentacles being here, even though it's in reverse, there is... what is the word? Why am I struggling with my words right now, Pile 2? What is happening? There is still... This is horrible. This is horrible. There's still a chance for you to embody this Nine of Pentacles energy, feeling abundant, feeling content, feeling happy, feeling like things are working out in your favor, feeling abundant, right? There's still an opportunity for you to bring or invite this into your life. All we got to do is figure out how we can plant those seeds and tend to those ones instead of the more negative ones or the weeds, so to say, right? The weeds in the garden. Because it kind of feels like we have a tendency to tend to the weeds and let them grow, and our flowers are dying, and we're wondering why we're just feeling miserable. And it's because we're focusing on the wrong things, right? With this King of Swords being in reverse as well, we could be feeling a little bit detached, right? Our intuition could be feeling a little clouded. Our judgment could be feeling a little clouded. Maybe we're feeling a little bit indecisive. Things just aren't as clear as they once were. And that could be really frustrating, right? And I feel like your shadow is really just asking you to take a moment to cleanse your energy and to recenter, so that way we can invest our energy into more positive seeds, right? Our seeds of light to bring balance to the darkness. Because it does feel like an imbalance, especially with the Justice card being in reverse here. There's like an imbalance in the energy. Right now it feels like the shadow is like kind of running rampant, and it needs some light, you know? It needs some light to balance it out, to keep it in check, you know? Too much of anything it can be toxic to our well-being. We have duality here because we are meant to be balanced, right? So let's see, what is currently triggering your shadow the most right now? What is currently triggering your shadow the most? Thank you. We got, even though I am wrong, I struggle to apologize. Some of you guys could have dealt with this from parents as well, or like guardians, whoever raised you. Maybe they used to do things and they would never actually like apologize. They would just be like act like everything is fine. Maybe they just like all of a sudden offer you a fry. Like, hey, do you want this fry? That's their apology. Instead of being like, hey, I'm sorry, you know, I was wrong. Like, I shouldn't have yelled at you, or I shouldn't have treated you like that. They'll be like, here's a fry, or dinner's done, or, you know, like, here's a new outfit. And it's like, all you got to do is apologize, you know, like, just admit that you were wrong. I feel like that is the biggest thing. I didn't even realize there was 3 cards there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have pulled this other one, but that's okay. We got, when I'm not confident with who I am, I will act in superficial ways. The number 4 could also be significant for you guys, because we got 4 cards out here, and I was only going to take 3. And we got 4 cards right here, too. So 44, or the number 4, if you're seeing, like, repeating 4s somewhere. This could also symbolize like our foundation, creating new habits. Force can also be a symbol of protection as well. So anyways, yeah, when I'm not confident with who I am, I will act in superficial ways. So some of us could be finding ourselves kind of leaning towards, like how I was just saying, like maybe when we don't feel good, like we just go spend our money on outfits or do things that kind of boost our ego, you know, instead of tending to our emotional needs. And where we're feeling wounded, we'll kind of reflect that energy somewhere else and try to fill that void, you know. We also got when I fail to set boundaries with others, I become angry with myself for days. See, and this King of Swords can also talk about maybe lacking good boundaries. Maybe we kind of let people walk all over us and then we get upset about it because we should have known better, we could have did better. But at the end of the day, like I said, this planet is a great place to learn and explore and evolve. So instead of getting upset with yourself, take that as a learning experience. Like, this is where my boundaries are lacking right now. This is where I need to set better boundaries. I don't want to feel like this no more. I don't like when people do this to me, so I'm not going to let people do that. And if they start crossing those boundaries, then it's time for you to walk the fuck away from this person or put some distance between you guys or speak your truth. Whatever you feel like fits, you know what I mean? Like, we got a voice for a reason, okay? Don't be afraid to hurt other people's feelings if somebody's hurting your feelings. And it's not even necessarily like you got to say it in a really mean way and like hurt somebody verbally, but some people will get offended when you speak your truth. Like, how dare you talk to me like that? How dare you cross my boundaries? You know what I mean? Especially if you've already vocalized like that upsets you and they continue to do that. Like, you have every right to stand up for yourself, you know? If you don't do it, who's going to? It says, when I am disconnected physically or emotionally from my partner, I begin to feel scared and lack confidence. So there could be a little bit of codependency here. And it could definitely stem from abandonment, right? Feeling like, oh my God, this person's gonna leave because I am feeling the energy shift, like they must be getting ready to walk out. Or, you know, it could be the slightest like energy shift because maybe they're having like a bad day or something, and we start to internalize it like it's something I did something, it's my fault. Or yeah, like internalizing it and making it like an issue, even though that person is just having an off day today. Like, when we start to feel like that, let's recenter that energy and have an honest conversation with them, you know, like, hey, are you okay? If you do feel like you need to ask them, you know, gentle reassurance is okay in a relationship, but we also got to make sure that we're giving it to ourselves too. And we also got to make sure that we are confident in ourselves that even if something like that were to happen, that we are going to be okay at the end of the day, okay? But I feel for you guys because I also deal with some of the same things. Some of you guys, if you felt drawn to pile 1 as well, I would definitely recommend going and checking it out because I feel like there could be some messages for you there. This card head came out for pile 1, but I'm kind of feeling like maybe a little bit of attachment or codependency going on. And that did come up in pile 1 as well. So we also got, when I feel unworthy, I go into hermit mode with no explanation to others. So we could have a tendency to isolate, distance ourselves randomly, just kind of ghost, you know, MIA, when we are feeling triggered. And I do feel like taking that into accountability, just being honest, you know, like we don't have to tell everybody like, hey, I'm about to go into hermit mode, but the people that you really care about and that really care about you and your well-being, just being honest with them and just saying, hey, like, I'm going to take some me time, you know. You don't have to tell them exactly what's going on if you don't want to, just letting them know what's going on, because I do feel like you guys could have some people in your circle that really do care about you, and they start to worry about you when you start doing things like this, right? You're like, oh my God, where's pile 2? Are they still alive? Are they okay? Just give them a little bit of a peace of mind. You know, these people do really care about you. They want to see you doing good. It feels genuine. And you'll know who these people are if you have them in your circle, right? I also feel like you could have people in your circle that like want to be there for you more than you're allowing them to be, which, you know, I understand. But maybe seeking out more support from your supporters could be good for you guys when you guys are feeling triggered. You know, like I said, they're here for you. Some of you guys have some good people in your circle, it feels like. So let's see. One final message from pile 2, shadow self. We got no equals a full sentence. Period. Says, you know what punctuates that sentence? Action. We spend so much time explaining our boundaries that we forget to just have a fucking boundary. Say no and quit participating in what you said no to. Remove yourself from the situation if you have to. Be your own boundary. That is so fitting for you guys. So fitting. Oh my gosh. No is a full fucking sentence. Period. So we got grab life by the balls and make it your bitch. It says sometimes life is just waiting for you to meet it with the same level of energy it's been stomping you with. Why can I not read right now? There could also be like a need to work on the throat chakra, especially with like the kind of like bluey color here. The throat chakra could be needing to be worked on. And we did have the King of Swords in reverse, which has a lot to do with our purpose, the way we express ourselves, or like a lack of expression, right? It can also have a lot to do with our communication and things like that as well. So that's just another message that I just want to bring in, because I don't feel like I was fucking up my words or losing my words this much in pile 1. But yeah, sometimes life is just waiting for you to meet it with the same level of energy it's been stomping you with. And when that's the case, sometimes you just need to get all alpha dog on it and be like, listen, bitch. Note of caution, make sure you know what you want life to do when you get its attention. Keep hold of life's balls and point them to where you want to go. Otherwise, that mixed metaphor is totally going to pull on the leash and poop on your lawn. I can't with this. I'm gonna hold this up. I don't know if y'all can read it, or these are called the spiritual AF cards as well. So I just wanted to let you know. It says, holy shit, you are enough, okay? It says, what would happen if you let yourself drop all the reasons you've made up about why you are not good enough? What if you tried it just for today? You can always go back to believing you're not enough tomorrow, but you may find you like the way it feels to like yourself. Like really, really, really like yourself. Kind of nice, right? Okay, you guys are enough. You guys are worthy. And you guys have a lot more control. So, like it says, grab life by the balls, make it your bitch, okay? This is all I have for you, pile 2. I hope this reading resonated with you. If it did, feel free to give this a like, comment, subscribe. Hit the little bell button so you don't miss when I upload. Take care of yourself. If this is the only pile that you guys chose, I hopefully will see you guys in my next one. Otherwise, I will see you in the other pile. Take care. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this selfishness card as well as the Unakite, this is going to be your reading. So when I was tapping into your guys' energy, I was hearing that selfish card by, God, I can't remember. But he says, I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You won't need nobody else, I swear. I was also hearing possessiveness. So some of you guys, when you start to feel like connected to somebody, you could be like, you're mine. You know, you're nobody else's. You're not allowed to do things without me, or you have to tell me. Like, doesn't have to be your case scenario, but you could struggle with things like that. And with the green on this card and this crystal right here is also connected to the heart chakra, but it's also a good crystal to ground you into your heart center, right? So some of you guys could be feeling a little bit of a block in your heart chakra. And I was also hearing like selfishness can also be a form of self-care, but when it starts to affect the people around you in a very negative way, that's when it starts to become toxic. Or if it's affecting you in a negative way, that's when it becomes toxic, right? So just be aware of that. I feel like your shadow self is wanting you to just be aware of these things. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We're not going to disown it, okay? If you're here, we're here to acknowledge it so we can move forward and figure out how we can heal, okay? So let's read the message on the back of this card. We got selfishness. It says, we all are selfish on occasion when we focus only on our own needs, ambitions, and desires. All of this can be healthy and normal unless we do it at the expense of others. When we become so preoccupied with ourselves that we trample over someone else's well-being on the road to success or on the road to our success, our selfishness gets out of balance. Sometimes because we fear losing control, we perceive ourselves in lack, and therefore we are not willing to share. At other times, we want to protect ourselves, and we lose empathy and consideration for others in the process. It says, ask yourself, when do I excessively focus on my own needs? Do I lack consideration for others? Why? When do I feel empathy for other people, and do I act on it? And the affirmation that we have is, I balance the fulfillment of my own needs with the respect and concern for others. I am secure and abundant. Okay, so could be a little bit of a lack mindset going on, fearing that we don't have enough for ourselves and for others, right? Even though we are abundant in our nature, our energy is abundant. There is a time, though, when we need to have good boundaries and take a step back from others and focus entirely on ourselves, right, to replenish ourselves. But we also have to remember who the fuck we are, which is an abundant being. We are multidimensional, and we are made to expand that energy, right, that lighthearted, loving energy to others as well, especially those that are in need. Okay, as long as it's not at the expense of ourselves or somebody else, it's okay, you know. But yeah, for some of you guys, there could be like a need to like connect back to your heart center, right? Like it said, when we're trying to protect ourselves, we can lose empathy for other people and compassion, consideration. So that could be a clear indication that we're feeling disconnected from our heart center. Maybe we need to reground our frequency back into our heart chakra. Ooh, and I'm getting chills talking about that. Especially if you've been like hurt or betrayed or felt a lot of pain within your heart chakra as of recently, we could have shut down a little bit. And I feel like your shadow self is really wanting to open the heart back up to bring balance back into the situation. Okay, so let's see. What does your shadow self want to say for pile 3? Whoa, that's a lot of cards. What does the shadow self of pile 3 want to say to the viewers of pile 3? So we got Wheel of Fortune. What does the shadow self of pile 3 want to say? Thank you. Wow, we got 2 5s, both in reverse. So we got the 5 of Wands in reverse, and we got the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, and we got the 8 of Swords in reverse. I like to see these energies in reverse, actually, especially with the Wheel of Fortune being upright. This is talking about the energy shifting for you guys, okay? So where there was once lack, there will be abundance and prosperity. Where there was once feelings of unworthiness or defeat, feeling like there's a lot of competition, we will be feeling successful, triumphant, okay? And I just keep hearing abundance. So with this Eight of Swords, this feels like you guys are freeing yourself from your own mind. You guys are no longer being in that victim mentality. And it does feel like you guys are wanting to open your heart back up after a long time of feeling like closed off. I do feel like you guys sometimes struggle with like your own internal battles. And when you start to feel triggered, that's when you guys start to maybe close your heart down, right? As a protection mechanism. And I feel like your shadow is wanting you to seek out wow, why did I just lose my train of thought? Your shadow self is wanting you to seek out other coping mechanisms, other ways to self-soothe, right? Especially when we're feeling triggered. But when we're also feeling depleted, things like that, when we're starting to get in that lack mindset, to seek out things that make you feel abundant, that make you feel strong, that make you feel healthy, right? Because when we feel healthy, we feel good, we feel strong, we feel like we have that extra energy to expend. Our cup is overflowing. We can give the excess to those around us, right? So it feels like after a lot of like conflict, or maybe dealing with like a lot of people that are constantly in competition with you, abandonment, neglect, things like that. After dealing with a lot of that thing, all of this energy is being recycled back to you in a very positive and beautiful way. And I feel like that's why you're meant to open up your heart right now, so that way you can receive this overflow, right, of abundance and love that is coming back to you. It's time to extend the olive branch is something that I'm really feeling. But yeah, with this Wheel of Fortune, it's like this recycled energy. You guys just closed out a major cycle, because if we add 5 and 5, this is 10. Wheel of Fortune is also card 10, so this is 10-10. You guys could also be going through like a spiritual awakening or ascension right now as well. So maybe you felt like shut down for a moment while you were purging these energies, and now it's time to reawaken. Oh, pile 3. I'm fucking with this. You guys could also be going through like an ego death as well, with this 5 of Wands being in reverse. Because sometimes I do signify like the wands as the ego, especially when it's more like challenging wand energy, like if it's like a king or queen of wands in reverse, or the 5 of wands in reverse. This is like challenging energies. So we're going to get some triggers for you guys. That's a lot of cards. Let's see. What is currently triggering pile 3's shadow? What is currently... Why do you guys keep almost getting so many cards? When I don't feel good about myself, I respond in negative words and actions. We'll take that one and we'll put this back. We got, when I feel that I am right, I become defensive and refuse to listen to others, to the other person's views. Oh my goodness, I can't even read these. So there could be a little bit of self-righteousness, like I'm right, you're wrong, I'm not gonna listen to you. And the thing about that is when we choose to act in that type of energy, we can miss a lot of lessons. But also, just because we listen to other people and we are being understanding of them doesn't mean that we make that our truth, okay? Like, we have to use discernment when it comes to things like that, because sometimes people are just, they're speaking their truth, but it don't resonate with us because that's not our truth. So it sounds like nonsense. But instead of just being like, that's nonsense, and making somebody feel like their truth is wrong, we'll just listen, understand, and move the fuck on. And I just seen 10-10 again. So yeah, you guys could be going through like a spiritual ascension, a spiritual awakening right now. So recentering yourself into your heart center, I feel like is going to be really important for you guys, because it does feel like there was a period of time where we were feeling really closed off because we were in a very, very vulnerable state, right? We were purging, which means we're very vulnerable. We're delicate in that moment. Very easily persuaded, very easily triggered when we're purging out heavy energies and things like that. So I feel like you guys are coming to the end of that process of purging, and now it's time to open back up to receive receive that recycled energy that's coming back to you for the work that you've been doing. But yeah, we also got, when I don't feel good about myself, I respond to negative words and actions. So there could be a little bit of a self-sabotage that we tend to do, or maybe we start to speak kind of negatively when we don't feel good. Maybe we start being mean to ourselves, being a little critical. And this can also reflect onto other people too. Like maybe we project that onto other people. We don't feel good, so we project that negativity onto other people and make other people not feel very good, because hurt people hurt people. Like I think I said that in another group, but that shit is true. Especially when we are not aware of our hurt and our pain and we don't know how to heal. We will project and be mean and cold and cut people with our words, and we might even physically hurt people because we're not feeling good. So that's why shadow work is so important. Becoming aware of our shadow is so important, so we do not continue to affect other people in a negative way because we're not feeling good, We also got, when I'm not confident with who I am, I will act in superficial ways. So sometimes we could tend to try to fill the void of not feeling good with things that we think are going to make us feel good, like a temporary fix, because it takes more energy and work and time to invest in a more healthier lifestyle, a more healthier vocabulary, things like that. So instead, let's just go get a beer, or, maybe let's just go get an outfit. Let's get these new sunglasses. Let's buy that food from this fancy restaurant, or whatever it is, right? We're acting more out of either animalistic energies, or we're acting from ego. We're trying to fill a void quickly instead of investing that energy into something that is going to be more sustainable, because it's going to take time. You're not going to see it's not like instant gratification, you know what I mean? We're investing in ourselves, and I feel like that's what your shadow is wanting you to do more of, is invest in yourself instead of trying to find a quick fix, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, we all do that, and instant gratification is good too, as long as we're balancing it out with those investments in ourselves as well. Maybe you start incorporating more of a spiritual practice where you connect with yourself, where you are meditating, sitting outside, taking walks, exercising, doing yoga, whatever it is. Make sure that you're balancing out those more instant gratifications or superficial needs that you're fulfilling, right? So we also got, when my feelings of shame surface, I will avoid everyone close to me. And I am kind of feeling that, almost like when you start to feel triggered and you start to act in these ways, or, you start to feel negative and respond in more negative ways, you're like, I'm going to isolate, I'm going to close myself off so I don't hurt nobody. But first of all, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I just want to say that right now, because we all have these things within us, and we all sometimes we all are guilty of falling into being more reactive than reflective, and maybe reacting off of emotion. And it could be wounded emotion, you know what I mean? So maybe we react in a very triggered or wounded way. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, and it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. All we need to do in order to heal is accept and acknowledge, and then get to the root of the issue. Why are we feeling these things? Because there's always something deeper underlining, right? The issue. So, and I say issue because, it can be perceived as an issue, but I feel like our emotions and things like that are data. So it's giving us insight. Instead of looking at it as an issue, we can look at it as data that is being downloaded, right? For this pile feels very deep and very spiritual. Because I was not talking like that in the other piles, I feel like. So I feel like just connecting with a higher source, connecting with your higher self, making more time to connect and center yourself into your heart is going to be really good for you guys. We are going to get a final message from your shadow self to you, pile 3. And then I will leave you here. Final message from pile 3's shadow self. I guess you guys are getting 3. So we got rise above your fuckheadedness. So it says, we're all fuckheads in our own way. The trick to winning at life is developing the ability to identify our own flavor of fuckheadedness and then rise above it. What one little thing can you do different-ish and better-ish today, you beautiful fuckhead you? So this is all about that sense of awareness and identifying, you know, like trying to learn, like I said, new ways to self-soothe, to cope, to coexist. If something's not working, it's time to shake it up, you know, shake it up. You gotta change it up, because when you've had enough, shake it up. All right, I'm done. Okay, so we got forgive the fuck out of someone today. You're probably thinking, it's not that easy. Sorry, but yes, the fuck it is. Take all the energy you put into being mad and making a case for how wrong so-and-so is and let that shit go. Start small so you can get the hang of it. The driver, see, I'm telling y'all are the deep divers, okay? The driver who just cut you off, yell, I forgive you, and wave. Secret bonus perk, forgiving someone usually pisses them off worse than anything else. So, yeah, you find yourself getting cut off in traffic, instead of being like, fuck you, you fucking asshole, be like, I forgive you, okay? Somebody who hurt you 10 years ago, I forgive you, you know? And the more you continue to set that intention of forgiving, the more you heal your heart, which is what has been like a big talk this whole reading, pretty much, is the heart. And you reclaim your power, and you are, like I said, setting that intention to the universe that you're ready to move forward and you're ready to raise your frequency, okay? Forgiveness is a beautiful frequency to be in. It's very healing. It says, own your awesome and stay humble as fuck. So we got list 5 things that you love about yourself. Now list 5 ways you're just like every other human who's ever lived. Go forth, you fabulous little snowflake, and be like everyone else with your unique bad self. Okay. I love this. That is beautiful. And I think that's a great exercise too, to bring a little bit of light into your life. Like, what do you love about yourself? Pile 3. And like I said, how are you just like every other human? Like, we all have emotions. We all react sometimes. We all have our own triggers, you know? Like, even the most healed, enlightened person is going to feel triggered by something. But we are in control of the way that we react, okay? So we got sometimes crushing it means asking for help. It says only fools or suckers think they can do it all on their own. Ask for help and then take the help. Let other people be a part of your success. Don't be stingy about letting people share in whatever kick-assery you create. Every real baller has a crew. Also, you don't know everything. That's just a fact. I love that, because we got the selfishness card. So some of you guys are needing some help, and ain't no fucking shame in that, period. Like I said, all ballers have a crew, okay? You ain't popping if you ain't got a crew. No, I'm just playing. You can still be popping without a crew. But this is all I have for you, pile 3. I hope this reading resonated with you. If it did, feel free to give this a like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell button so you don't miss when I upload. Hope to see you guys in my next one. If this is the only reading that you guys were drawn to, I hope this resonated with you. Otherwise, go check out the other 2 piles if you felt drawn to them. And I'm sending you all lots of love as always. Take care of yourself.